Hello and welcome to the Squeaky Bum Time Podcast with Mike and Laurent. It is Friday, July 29th. In this episode,
30th.
Mike is back.
Hey!
Can't believe it. I'm so happy. Varane is going to United. Sancho is in hand. Is United ready to challenge? I don't think so. But first, Mike, Erik Lamela is off to greener pastures. How are you feeling? He is the last of the Bale 7.
I'm sad.
What are your
I
memories?
love him. I loved him. He was my favorite metrosexual sociopath. There are so many things that come to mind with Erik Lamela. Most recent, we talked about it basically a full episode. It was the North London Derby at the Emirates this past season.
That was your opus where you talked about fucking Shakespeare.
He basically is Shakespearean, but that game was a Shakespearean play. Yeah. He's going to win the Puskas for the goal of the year for that. I guarantee it. Yeah. And then he gets a red card in the second half on a really surprising foul. The interesting thing is that's the only red card he got from Spurs in seven or 8 seasons he was there. And it's really, he should have had a lot more of that. And these are some of my favorite memories. The almost reds, the stepping on Cesc Fabregas's hand at the Battle of the Bridge. Oh, gives me chills every time I think about it.
Classic. That was on Premier League TV on MSNBC. You probably don't know that you have it because if you subscribe to Peacock, you don't know that they have all this shit. But there's a whole Premier League TV channel, and they were doing all Spurs content. It was awesome.
That's cool. How many games did we lose in the last 20 minutes? I don't want to know.
It was all timers. It was all timers. A lot of Berbatov, a lot of Keane,
and a lot of Bale, I would imagine. It's the other one that really goes. It's puts a smile on every Spurs supporter's face is when he looked at Jack Wilshere and Wilshere was trying to be a tough guy. He goes, "The fuck are you going to do about it, pussy?" And there's that still photo right outside the 18 where Kieran Trippier is holding back Wilshere and Lamela's just got this shit-eating grin on his face. He's like, "You're not going to touch me because I'll stab you with the shank in my sock."
Yeah, it's the surprise not realizing that some guys who might look like they do are really like tough motherfuckers from the lowest of the low. They're like, I have, picked up shit and eaten it to win a game. And you're talking like, oh, you have a tattoo? I will kill you.
I have a tattoo that says "I will kill you." He always played
right, exactly.
He always played the game like a piranha. That's how I always kind of saw him. He was always nipping at somebody's
heels. He looked like a shark.
And he with the
weird stiff movement with his head.
Right. He was very maligned for the touch crossover, right? He would just kind of look like he was dancing with himself, and it would do nothing 99% of the time. Spurs fans hated that. I thought it was kind of funny. I will miss him. I will miss him. The kid we got in sounds like he's a great young talent.
He looks
goddamn
like
thing
a
about
child.
Him. He is a child. He's 20 years old.
He comes from Sevilla. Just not. Wait, which one won the Europa? Was it Sevilla or Valencia?
I don't know. This is how unplugged I've gotten in the last 10 days.
That's okay. That's okay.
Anything
anymore. I listened to Sid Lowe on ESPN FCC Old Man Channel, and his assessment was very attacking, very classic winger. Get in front of a guy, take him on and get past him. But sometimes take him on and get past him, slow down and let him get back in front of him so he can take him on again. So he's got a little bit of that. Very young. Whether he can cross, I don't know. Whether he's like all these modern Spaniards, they all look too small. So that part I worry about, like when he plays those teams that play center backs at fullback and they just go.
Yeah, just shove him. He's currently in Japan at the Olympics with Spain. I haven't.
That's good. If he's on that team, that's good.
Well, that's kind of the thinking, right? So, look, it was time for Lamela. Yeah. And the interesting thing with the way that Paratici is doing business is he's using the players that we have as make weights, and he's throwing in some money.
And Levy loves it, yeah.
And Levy loves that. And so there was the deal for Koundé, the center back. We talked about it probably a couple weeks ago. A deal was in place for Davinson Sanchez and like $20 million for Koundé, and they were like, "Oh, that's great," because they had a big sell-on clause, and that's something that Levy loves to do and kind of leverage that.
Do we want to rock on some transfers, or do you want to talk about the women's national team?
I can't wait to see them lose. I am gonna. Here's the thing: I'm not getting up at 4 a.m. to watch this shit show.
No.
I haven't watched any of the Olympics at all.
It's been a mess. Yeah, it's hard to watch. I watched the replay and I shared it. I watched the highlights of the Sweden game. They just got beat. It was bad.
Yeah.
I watched the highlights of the Australia game. They did nothing, created nothing, and literally the highlights were center back kicks the ball across the halfway line. Alex Morgan runs full speed at it. They took 4 shots.
So they're the men's team now,
right? But they're supposed to be Brazil, and they're not. Now,
right.
I will say, they're gigantic when they play against other women's teams. They're just massive. Like Mewis is just a monster.
Well, Julie Ertz is like a linebacker.
They are linebackers, but they play. I mean, this is against Australia. Okay, Australia is a good team. They have Sam Kerr. They're a historically good athletic country who does really well in the Olympics, supports women's sports, all those things. So they're a good side. The United States had 36% possession. Like, what are we doing? Like, so defensive to the point that the Australian coach in the fucking interview at the end of the game was like, I wasn't expecting that. They bunkered in. So, what the fuck is going on?
It's as if City were playing Burnley. And maybe that's a little harsh on Australia, but if City were playing Burnley and you basically had a Freaky Friday situation where Burnley
play
are just
like Mourinho's Spurs.
Right. Well,
basically.
Yeah. And
right.
I didn't need another reason to root against them, but I think the main reason I'm rooting for them to lose is because these celebrities, these players in their long awaited battle for equal, rights and all that stuff. By the way, a fucking judge told you to get the fuck out of his courtroom. You're wrong. You lose. And you know what they said? That's not fair. We want to do it again. They're Jesus Christ, ladies.
I don't know all the information. I don't know anything about it. I know
a judge looked at all the information and was like, hey, you don't really have that much of a case.
Here's the thing I know. I watched City play Barcelona in the Champions League. And I watched women. This is women. I watched City play Barcelona in the Champions League. I watched Chelsea, who are by far the best team in England and really strong. Sam Kerr played on that team. Get annihilated by Barcelona. Mm-hmm. And I mean, like, it wasn't close. The Barcelona team that won the Champions League is like 2011, is like Pep Barcelona level. Like, they have changed the game to the point that it will have ramifications that show up. They beat Lyon, 8-time champion. You cannot. If that is indicative of what's going to happen in women's football, the United States is fucked. And I'll tell you this. The Dutch invented this because they have total football, and that got to Barcelona. I'm going through, like, deep shit. And the stuff that happens in America in men's football is happening in women's football. They figured it out. Oh, we've saturated football so much. Let's appeal to this next group of people, young girls, young women who love football, and let's make it like men's football as much as possible in terms of style, right? And the U.S. women, and I had the stats and I took it down, but we have so many women playing, and we have 9 million women, young girls, 18, all totaled, playing soccer. All of Europe, all of South America, the rest of the world combined has 2, right? But Europe has twice as many professional women playing that are European. That is a fact. I looked it up. It's FIFA 1919.
I understand. I've got the info. What I'm saying is it's coaching. It comes in the same shit as men's.
American.
The only reason we had a 25-year head start on women's soccer is because the rest of the world didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
No, the rest of the world couldn't be fucking bothered. Okay. Yeah. Now you've got this was the 2016, I believe, Olympics, where you had England. England was the upstart, like, underdog in the tournament. Are you fucking kidding me? This is why are we even paying attention to this, right?
Here, Sweden. Mike, I've got the info, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Here it is. 9 million women playing, number of registered women over 18, 146,000, right?
Sure.
There's a complete disconnect. This is Europe. There's almost 600,000 women over 18 playing.
Mm-hmm.
That's where professionalism comes from. And we're going to get beat because we're playing old women
deserve it.
Who don't get coached.
It's true of everything else about this fucking country. We're past our prime. Okay.
We're end of empire.
Yeah, take us out back and shoot us. But the reason I'm really rooting against them is because I want to see a reckoning for all these stars. I want Megan Rapinoe to get taken out back like old Yeller, right? I mean, Carly Lloyd.
She's 39 years old, 36 years old.
That's what
are they doing? Whose idea was that?
It's their idea. That's the point. They're bigger than the team. They're bigger than the letters on the front. It's all that. It's all them all the time, right? Rapinoe, I deserve this. No, what you deserve to get shit kicked by Sweden 3-0, sweetie. Okay, yeah. And then you know what? Tomorrow they're playing the Netherlands. The Netherlands, granted, has played Zambia, which I'm not sure is a real place, and China. But they also played Brazil.
Normally good, and they take it seriously.
They won the group with Brazil in it. Okay,
and Brazil's still playing Marta, who's 39,
35. I looked it up. She plays in Orlando.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm never going to see that. But they scored 23 goals in 3 games.
Yeah, they put a hurt on.
Averaged 8 goals a game, dude.
And they have the best striker in Europe is on their team.
Good.
Vivian Miedema. She's really good. She plays for Arsenal. She's tall. She's lanky. She's a really technical finisher. Basically, they have Robin van Persie.
I was going to say Van Persie.
Yeah, you can expect the Dutch to play hard and play well. And they have been historically supplying female players to the league. I follow, again, English Women's League because the WSL is, I don't know. They play crap football and there's no fans. At least in Europe, there's fans. So I'm looking forward to this Dutch game. Now, I do think that if the U.S. beat the Dutch, they'll probably get a medal. I think this is the game where they go down. No,
because they play Brazil or Canada next, who are both better than them.
They're better. No, they're not. They're not better. They beat those teams all the time. All the time. It's the Dutch or nobody. I really believe that.
Really?
But I do think the Dutch could win. Yeah. They're not.
So they got
Canada, they play all the time. Brazil, they play all the time. It's like those teams aren't quite there. But we're focused on the men's show, and I do want to talk about both our nemesis, Manchester United, making a
I don't have a problem with them, by the way. I always find that funny that United used to be the Yankees, so it was cool to hate the Yankees, right? It was cool to hate Manchester United. I don't have any problem with Manchester United. In fact, all of the teams around United, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, I fucking hate those guys. So when
you've been coming up during down United time. You're like, whatever.
No, not even that. I don't want any. If United were winning all of the titles that Chelsea won in the last 10 years, I'd be like, fucking great. Good job, guys. Awesome. I don't care. I don't give a shit about United.
So the two moves, well, let me just bring this up and we can probably, this really just brings the whole thing up, right?
There you go.
We've got Varane signed. They've got Sancho in hand. I don't think
has Sancho been officially announced yet? They've been kind of weird with that.
That's all done.
Okay.
This is a sneaky big move. West Ham signing Areola from Fulham. He's really, really good. He basically could have kept them in the league. For some reason, the White deal isn't done with Arsenal. He's good. Here's your Koundé. Abraham can leave. Haaland with Chelsea. There's a lot of futzing going on. I think under the radar, Alderweireld leaving. I totally missed that.
No, I mean, he went. No, it's fine because we're going to get a center back, and he was done. And he went to Qatar to make a shit ton of money. Good for him.
Right, but he was key. Like he's Pochettino Spurs. He's this era, right? He's one of.
But okay, so 2 years ago, after the Champions League final, Pochettino said there's going to be a painful rebuild coming, and we need to prepare for that and be brave.
He wanted Harry Maguire. They didn't do anything, right?
Yeah, and then 2 years later, here it is, right? So we should have sold Toby 2 years ago, realistically. Yeah. We should have sold Toby 2 years ago for $40 million. We sold him for 13. Right.
So there's been some hijinks and hilarity that I posted on our Facebook group. Is scrolling across the bottom of just like the hyperbole of United now being set up to win the league. And all I keep doing is going, you know what? No, you're not ready. you're not even close to being ready. And I'll tell you why. They're so far off that adding these two players, Sancho and Varane, is that going to make up a 12-point gap and a 23 goal difference on top of the fact that their XG was like even more than that away? I just don't see it because I don't trust Ale. I think that Sancho is another player like they already have. Is he that much better than Greenwood? No. Is he?
Yes, but not that much better.
But it's redundant talent that doesn't really change what they were good at, right?
So this is exactly what Chelsea did last year, right? I mean, granted, they ended up winning the fucking Champions League by accident, but nonetheless, when they walked into the league net last year, they had Werner, they had Havertz, they had Ziyech. They brought all three of these guys in, and I was like, they have a tremendous amount of attacking talent.
What are they doing to the point that they now have to throw Tammy Abraham away? Like, we don't need him. Whoop. Yeah. But like the reason why I kind of go through this and I'm getting mad because of the hyperbole, like I've seen posts of like Maguire, Varane, Wan-Bissaka, Shaw. Is this the best defense in the Premier League? And I go, no, that's City because we have the same defense and you guys are 12 goals behind us. You're not 12 goals better because you're not going to control the midfield because you still have McFred and people are still going to get at those guys. I don't care how fucking good your back four is. Unless Wan-Bissaka is playing the 6, they're still going to be right there. All you have to do is fall down. All you have to do is guy does one trick and gets a shot off. You still, as far as I know, have De Gea and Henderson in goal. Where the fuck are these 15 goals that you're saving coming from? Varane is not Diaz.
That's fine, but you hit on it already, right?
Like, I mean, leadership-wise, every time Ramos went down, Real fell apart. Okay. Every single time,
and I'm not even arguing
his partner.
You hit on it. The most important position I think for United is going to be right in front of the back line. Who's playing that 6 role? Right? It's McTominay. It's Fred. Okay.
Matic still weirdly.
Yeah, right. So that to me is as big of a need as center back.
All great teams. All the teams. I'll bring it up again. Look at the teams at the top.
Yeah.
City has Fernandinho and Rodri, both holding things down. McFred, no. Liverpool had Fabinho. McFred's a great name. Now, United did well, but they're the worst of this group. The XG, it matters. They're the worst of this top 4, right?
Yeah.
They got lucky. They have good finishers. Greenwood is incredible. Cavani was incredible. Who's going to tell me Cavani's not going to get hurt? He's getting hurt. He always gets hurt. Liverpool have Henderson and Fabinho, and they're weakened, to be fair. And then Chelsea have the best.
Both of them playing center back at some point during the season.
Right. And then Chelsea have Conte, who we acknowledge is incredible, but does get hurt more often. When he's healthy, he's still the best. But they don't have a ready-made replacement.
He's not a 38-game guy. That's effectively
not anymore. I don't think so.
No, not at all. And that's not a slight on him at all. He is a Cadillac that you kind of can't take out in the winter anymore. It's fine.
Yeah. And that's fine. And he's 5 foot nothing.
Right.
So I'm just like, I just think like when I think about United, it just fucked me off. I'm like, you know what? The real difference is, and this is where United will beat Spurs. United will beat City. United will take points off the big teams. The problem isn't the big teams. It's losing at home to Sheffield. Mm-hmm. All they can get those team up for big games, and then when it's shit games, how do you break teams that sit in? I don't know. They're not going to be able to beat. They're not going to beat Steve Bruce's Newcastle. Nope. Newcastle will take points off them, unless the only way they ever break these teams down is when Fernandez draws a penalty because he throws himself down on the ground. But now maybe Sancho.
By the way, real quick,
feels like a billion times.
That got them, I would argue, the difference between 2nd and 4th place last year.
7 points, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, comfortably.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that I point out that I think is really interesting is like the difference between 10th and 3rd was less than 10 points.
Yeah.
Right. And the difference between City and Manchester United was 12. So like any of these teams, like when we do our preview, and I think we should do it eventually, they're all really, really good. United, like, I feel like United is treading water. Liverpool, I think we can honestly say, is on the way down. If not, they're not better.
No, they're not better, but they're still hanging on. And who knows? Listen,
the one of this group that's on the way up is Chelsea, right?
Yeah,
that's the team that I'm afraid of.
Yeah,
I'm not afraid of Leicester. West Ham got lucky. Spurs, I think you guys are in trouble. Honestly,
don't even get me started.
I think Arsenal, as much as we don't, let's be objective here. Arsenal is on the way up because they can't go any lower.
Yeah, sure, exactly, right? Come on.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And then, Everton.
Spurs had their worst season in a decade. And they still finished above Arsenal. What does that tell you about Arsenal? Okay.
I completely understand. I understand what you're saying. And but the thing is that they got super lucky. And we went through the stats on the thing. That's like, Son is not going to score on 40% of his shots again. He could.
No, see, I don't
think.
No, listen, you kind of have to throw all of that out, right? Because Mourinho set up a system where he was like, okay, you and Kane, actually, that's the game plan. You are going to score 40% of your shots, right?
Because we're going to do nothing but get the greatest shots you could possibly get.
And I'm drinking the Nuno Kool-Aid. I think that they will be challenging for the top 4. I don't think
they're all close. I agree.
I mean they weren't really, though. They were at the end. They weren't 5 points away. They were 10 points away, and they made it close at the end, right? Like, that's kind of – it's like a baseball game. You're losing by 10 runs, and you score 3 in the 9th. It's like, oh, we only lost by 7. No, you lost by fucking 10, dude. So that's kind of how I'm excited to see a team actually play attacking football again. I
think you're going to be happy. I think because he's just like a pleasant guy.
He's so likable. He really – I liked him a lot when he was at Wolves. That was kind of why Wolves were like my other team. But, yeah, I mean, I'm very interested to see what happens. I think – low-key, I think Matt Doherty has a resurgence at right back. I do.
Because he's the old player.
Because he's an old guy. So
he's going to be like, I need a guy that I can trust.
Yeah, right. So, I don't know. There's a lot of ways that can go. There's a lot of things that can happen between now and not just, the opening match of the season, which is 14 days away. Actually, yeah, it is 2 weeks away. And then the end of the transfer window, obviously, which is going to be they moved it back to September 1st, right?
Yeah, it's not been that crazy. I'm looking for something that I don't remember what I shared. Anyway, forget it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. But so talk to me about how you actually, you know what? Let's pay some bills real quick. Bring it up.
Okay, I will do that. Who are we talking about today?
I'm talking about my buddy Joe. I'm just waiting for the visual. There he is. Nope, that's not one. There he is. It's our friend Joe at Attitude of Gratitude Consulting. He's a big friend of ours in the Chop Sports Podcast Network, and he helps us save money on a lot of our bills, a lot of our expenses, find the quote-unquote money in the couch cushions, sort of thing. He's a great dude. You can see his website here. He's based in New York. He's just a likable guy. He's somebody that you talk to on the phone, you go, okay, I can trust this man. And so, we're big fans of him. Like we said, he's helped us out. Visit Attitude of Gratitude Consulting, as you can see right there, .com for more info to save you plenty of cash on your monthly bills.
All right. And that means that I'm going to talk about our friends at Sunflower Meadow Seasoning. Now, it's got a lot of stuff, but they do have lots of events all around Woodbridge, New Jersey. They're friends of the Chop Sports Network team. And you can see here our buddies putting their stuff on there. They've got cute pigs. And if you go down and talk to Jess, she will help you with a discount. Just mention that you're here from Chopped and check out their website at sunflowermeadowseasonings.com. We're fans. We like the pigs. If they send us a pig calendar, I promise you, we will put it everywhere that we can, and we love it. So
if we get a pig calendar, we will do every month. We will have a different Premier League pig of the month.
Oh, for sure. We'll put
sponsored by Sunflower Meadow Seasonings. Promise.
Yeah, and we'll definitely put the shirts on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's been nice. So like, the Euro was such sort of like a palate cleanser from the end of the season, which was kind of just a grind. I wanted it to be over already. I did enjoy the end of the season, but like most of the actual meat of the season made me want to kill myself.
Yeah,
but,
you had a dip there.
Yeah. I got calcified, as one might say. But the Euro was so great, and now I'm just kind of enjoying a little holiday, as they say. I'm just kind of, I don't give a shit about the Olympics. I don't give a shit about the men's the Gold Cup.
Deep in the fucking Grealish watch.
Well, yeah, you have a reason to be. And listen,
I am scared. I am nervous. I'm seeing teams get players. The Grealish watch is out of control. I had forgotten one of the things that's a little subplot is Aston Villa and Man City have a little beef since the takeover. We've taken quite a few of their players, and they are angry. So Delph, we got off them.
That's right.
Barry, we got off them. Now Grealish, and on the internet, it is El Saltarino Mas Salty. They're calling us snakes. They're attacking City-related journalists. It is a Twitter-only beef because real life is just like, I don't care. Just when's Jack Grealish going to get here? The latest is City are actually speaking. This is by Fabrizio Romano, who's basically a cheese and also the greatest of. He's the Adam Schefter of transfers from Italy. He's got City discussing the transfer with Villa. They're trying to get Jack involved. There is terms coming together. So one of the things that we probably never discussed, but the transfer dealing is different than you'd expect in the United States, where you have a team, the guy has a contract, provided there's not a no trade clause, you can go, right? Transfers work differently, where you buy the contract off the team, but you can actually sign the deal with the player before the contract is sold.
Yep.
So, for instance, I could have signed Mike from his job and still had to pay his company to have him come be part of the Squeaky Bum Time podcast. So that's one of these,
which is what happened.
Yeah,
it was the highest paid transfer in Squeaky Bum Time podcast history. That's a fact. Right.
And then there is the notion of a free agent. You could simply, if you're out of contract, you can just move teams. So one of the things that I think when we do our juxtaposition of transfer to US, there's just much more freedom. The players in Europe are free and they can run down contracts, force their way out. It's more like the NBA, except better and far, far, far better.
Well, it's sort of how the last 15 years has gone. Has been super interesting because now these ballooning transfer sums where you would get, $100 million for a player. The player doesn't get that. The club does, right? The player is being paid quite.
The club gets
as well.
The agent. There may be something going to the player. It may mean the transfer happens and you get a renegotiation of your contract. They rip up your contract and make a new one. So there's a lot of. It's much more complicated and a lot more machinations.
But what's happening now, and in recent, I'd say the last 2 years or so, like you already alluded to, you would think that free agency is a big thing, like it is in the NBA or in the American sports. But because players move before their contract ends, that's where those big
what they have is way more competition for teams, right? If you're in the NBA and you want to go somewhere else,
it's 28 other teams.
Yeah. Right. But if I'm in the Premier League and I'm like, oh, I'm going to Italy. Or I'm going to Spain. I'm going to Germany.
But what I was going to get into now, the newest trend over the last 18 months to 2-3 years, I guess, is that players will run down their contract because now they're seeing all these big pieces of the pie going to the teams. And they're like, well, fuck that. I'm going to just sit here for another year, and then I'm going to get a $15 million signing bonus.
There's a massive trend that I think about because I think about the not woke, but just the stuff that's been going on with all the sort of player activity. American sports via Instagram are reflecting back on each other, right? These players in soccer, they see LeBron James being worth $1 billion. They love the NBA because it's such a visible sport. They see what's happening in the US and they want to have that same activity. They're being active. Why the hell are they taking a knee? It's from the US. It's like, right. It's solidarity. There's this, and then you see like the Simone Biles thing happen, and Pogba tweets back at her. They're all connected via social. So there is And I'm not going to get into the specifics of each individual item. What I think is happening to me is there is a unifying kind of sports guys are like this. This is how they behave, right? So if they see LeBron or guys in the NBA empowering themselves, they're going to feel compelled to empower themselves. If you see a Pogba who wants to be his own brand, he's reflecting off of a Russell Westbrook who wants his own brand and his funny hair and his cool clothes, and or maybe it's Cristiano who started it and reflecting back on LeBron and Cristiano feels very Kobe. They're very the same era. And I think that the sort of sports where you can see the person and they're international, because basketball and soccer are the two most international sports. There's a cadre and a style that I think the sportsmen internationally are taking on, especially the visible ones who can peacock themselves. So that's
it's interesting that everybody sort of wants to be LeBron and aspires to be that, not LeBron per se, but that amount of influence, right?
But he's the best player ever, or close.
Second. But yeah.
Patrick Ewing, right?
Right, that's right. Well, did you say sweatiest? Yeah, sweatiest, second sweatiest. No. The goal is to have that much clout, right? And to when you say something, even if it sounds like you just pulled it out of your fucking ass, like LeBron
or it's
James.
you took the consensus of like 80% of people say this is okay, I'm saying it. Yeah. That's really what I take issue with him. Like, get out front, say something weird.
Gosh, China sure is giving the NBA a lot of money. No, then you effectively want to have that much. You want when he talks, mountains move, right? People who fucking hate basketball pay attention, or at least get annoyed by him, right?
Well, that's enough. That counts.
Exactly, right? Like acknowledgement of your existence. He wins. So there are attempts to doing that, and even like Kane will do it through like charity and stuff like that. Not that he's invented charity from athletes or anything, but like in ways that are meaningful. And forget him for a second. Marcus Rashford is the main one that comes to mind with everything that he did over the last year.
Stuff.
He did amazing stuff.
Like beyond.
Right.
Like,
and then he missed a penalty in Euro, and everybody forgot about it.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he shamed the government of the UK by being like, oh, you don't want to feed kids? I'll fucking feed kids.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
That was cool.
So, yeah, he's cool. I mean, I think everyone universally respects him.
Of course.
And there's all sorts of stuff there. Are there any bits and bobs you want to talk about? I've got a handful of things that I need to talk about. I guess it's just like, I don't believe in Liverpool. That's my big hot take. I don't think they're finishing in the top 4.
We have to come through our whole preview thing, where I don't think we do that tonight, because I certainly haven't thought a second's worth about it. But no, I think what we'll do is, we don't necessarily have to do team by team, but like we could do
no. We'll do
top four relegation, and we'll come back to it like we did last year. Top 4 relegation and the players of the season, or Golden Boot. We'll do Golden Boot. I'm going to say Kane again.
It depends where he goes. It does, because if he goes to City, he's not even going to score 20. Well, yeah, and then anyone
not because he's not going to play.
He's just not going to play.
Yeah, right. No, I'm not saying that he's going to go to City and get worse. I'm saying he's going to be just another brick in the wall for Pep Guardiola. So
yeah. Have you watched any preseason yet, or nothing?
None. It's been nice.
I don't even. I haven't. I watched Mahrez score a free kick. I didn't get your take on Ole getting a 3-year deal. We're all happy because he sucks.
Like, who are they going to fucking hire?
Not Ole.
I don't know. I'm sad for my friends around here, because Arsenal had to pull out of the Florida Cup, and Inter did as well. So it's like Everton versus I don't even know. Everton still showed up.
Yeah, they were like, hey. Yeah, that's so Everton to show up and have nobody else be there.
Right. So those games were this week. I didn't pay any attention to that. It's been good. I'm getting to the point where, like we said, it's 2 weeks tomorrow until the opening game of the season. I'm getting excited for it, but I'm not there yet. Granted, I'm coming off of like a bender, which is why I wasn't on the show the last few episodes. But I'm getting my feet back under me, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. End of July, cool. We're doing this. So,
and any quick thoughts, and then we'll wrap up.
Yeah.
Yankee acquisitions.
They're fine. They got a not as much of a douchebag version of Stanton, who's a lefty,
Right.
but he's hitting 220. That's
He's
nice.
awful, that dude.
No, he's actually quite a good defender.
Right,
And
but how are they supposed to hit against good pitchers?
They're not. That's the thing. And so Anthony Rizzo is the second one that they got.
He's actually good.
He's fine. He's perfectly fine. He's having a bad season for him, which still means he's hitting 250, which is like today, that's like 320. So I'm fine. He's really likable, which I'm fine with. But I got to tell you, I am just going through the motions with this. I didn't watch a second's worth of any of the All-Star game stuff. I'm kind of out on baseball. And granted, the Yankees sucking and me having a heavy bet on their division win from earlier in the season is certainly weighing on me. But you're losing
not
me, baseball.
As good.
No, it has nothing to do with that. In fact, I'd argue the product on the field, the players might be better than it ever was, or at least it's this. I haven't seen this like youth movement since Nomar, A-Rod, and Jeter, right? And so
there are fun players, right?
There's fun players. I'm out. I don't know. I don't feel anything when I watch it, and I'm forcing myself to watch the Yankees.
That's what happened to me. I lost that loving feeling. I know I can come back. It'll be there. Baseball is good like that. They don't change the rules too much. When you're ready to come back, you come back.
They have changed the rules. They're so fucking mindless.
Yeah, but they're stupid ones. Like, so it's 7 innings. Okay,
really stupid. Really stupid.
But it's still 60 feet, 6 inches. The bases are still 90 feet apart, as far as I know. The mound is still the mound, so I think we're fine. I'm now the old guy at the office as a guy who's a Giants fan, and I'm like talking about the '85 Cardinals because it was like this revolutionary type of baseball where they stole 350.
They ran everywhere.
It was amazing. Yeah. All right, let's wrap it up.
Let's get out of here.
That was the Squeaky Bum Time Podcast with Mike Salerno and Laurent Cortines. We are the football wing of the Chop Sports Network. We record on Tuesdays and Fridays, except when Mike doesn't show up. So be sure to subscribe whenever you get your podcast so you never miss an episode. If you are listening on Apple, please rate and review the show. It makes a huge difference. And the next episode will be a preview, at least for half the league when it starts.
Well, and we're going to talk about how the U.S. women's team lost.